the past 7 days, I'm sure, have been kind of elevated craziness, right? I mean, what's that been like?
Yeah, definitely just a lot more than I expected. I didn't think I'd ever be in this type of position. Obviously, like if you asked me 4 years ago that I'd be here today, I'd just say you're crazy. Especially when that portal hit that first day, and even the first 3 days, just all like, wow, like this is crazy, like all these schools and stuff. So it was just a really cool experience, and I'm definitely blessed for it.
Yeah. At what point did the portal kind of start hitting your mind? I mean, obviously you had the big Alabama game, but it wasn't till the end of the season that you had the 51-point game. So at what point for you did you start thinking like, hey, this might be what makes the most sense for me?
Yeah, honestly, thought about hitting it my sophomore year. After my sophomore season, I thought about like I'm gonna go try to play at the next level or try to go just play at a higher level of my thing. And I told Coach Sada that. We had a long talk, and he told me that he thinks I need one more year of experience because he said, I don't want you to stay out 3 years. He's like, Trey, I think you have incredible talent. He said, I think you can play at that next level. So I think you just need one more year of that experience and that that maturity aspect of it, like growing as a player and as a person. And he told me I'd play a lot, and I said, okay, I'll come back, and I'm trusting you, and I'm just here to try to win games. And unfortunately, we didn't win as many as we wanted to, but it was definitely a good learning experience for myself and all my other teammates, so it was definitely a cool experience. But I would say like my sophomore year is when it like first entered my mind.
You guys got to do the whole Dickinson State game here, which was, I know cool for you because you got to, experience something so different but yet so familiar. But, how much do you feel like you've changed and how much has life changed just since we saw you play in that Dickinson State game to the end of the season?
Yeah, I've changed just like, again, like I always say this, like I just matured, especially going through all this other stuff, like the social media aspect and all these people hitting your phone and all this other thing. Like you just like, it gets old, it gets like tired, like right away you're like, oh, like you're like so high because you're like, this is so cool. And then like after a while you're like, oh, like this is part of my life. Like you have to like just soak it in. So I'd definitely say like, even Dickinson, like at the Dickinson game, I never thought something like this would happen. I thought I'd average like a good like 15 points and like I just like wanted to win, but I didn't think the 40 or the 51 game was going to happen, but it did, and I give all the credit to the coaching staff for letting me in that position. So, yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about the two big games. I mean, obviously the first one happens, and then you go about your season normally, and you still had great games and still got Summit League recognition and that kind of thing, but. How much did you embrace those moments? I know you said like at first it was really cool and then it got old, but how much did you embrace like, hey, like it's okay for me to enjoy this, spotlight that I have on me?
Yeah, like especially like during the 40-point game, I really was soaking that one in. Like the crowd and everything was really cool. And when it was tied up and when it was close, I was like I won't get this other opportunity to have like a good team like that coming to my building. So it's like I'm just gonna not take it for granted. And obviously I played hard and tried to play my hardest, but it was just I try to soak up all the experience right away. Because like basketball, you have to be fun. It's a game. Like you play it for fun, and obviously like a job to people like myself. But like obviously you have to remember like you're playing a sport at the end of the day. So yeah, I definitely try to soak those moments in while I'm playing for sure. Especially at the end of the game right away, I definitely would just stop for a second, take a deep breath, and I just let it all come to me. So yeah, that's definitely something I do a lot.
Yeah. At the same time, like, how did you stay level-headed through it? Like, I just knowing you for a little bit, I feel like the word that always comes to mind when people talk about you is, like, how humble you are. So, like, how did you try to, try your best to be like, okay, I can enjoy this, but, like, I've got to stay humble through this process, too?
Yeah, like, after the 40 game, like, I didn't think too much of it. Like, my phone was blowing up. I was, like, 11 trending on Twitter. Everyone's like, bro, you knew what you just did? And I was like, bro, like we lost, like it's relax. And then I called Willie, and that's kind of like when everything like let out. I never like talked smack or anything, but I was talking to Willie. He was like, Trey, like this is crazy. Like you that's what you just did. And I'm like, yeah, they can't. Like I was talking crazy to Willie, and he started laughing. He's like, Trey, I never see the side of you. He was like, I haven't either. I'm just too hyped right now. Like I got to stay down, and that's usually what I try to do. And just stay like at that level of consistency of like maturity and like just like my emotions. So even a 50 game, like I got too into it, like the crowd started talking to me and stuff, and I never talked to the crowd. Like in high school, I never say a word to anybody. College, freshman, sophomore year, I would never say a word. but like SDSU, I said a few words this season. Nothing bad, but I just used to like talk back. But like SDSU was trying to like clown us, so I definitely got into it a little bit more. But yeah, I definitely try to just stay as level-headed as I can, because I know if you get too high, sometimes it's just not looking good, and if you get too low, it's just also not good.
Yeah. Obviously, you mentioned you thought about the portal after your sophomore year. You know, you gave credit to the coaching staff for getting you back, but how much did your game grow in that last year? I mean, how much did you see growth from yourself just on the basketball court more than anything?
Yeah, I would just say like my ability to like just be a player, like a 3-level scorer. Like that first 2 years, I was mainly just like a 3-point shooter. Like just try to like get my threes up, and I did shoot quite a bit of twos my sophomore year, but not as much. And then like I played point guard my freshman and sophomore year, like backup. And then like this last year, like a lot more like primary like ball in my hand type of stuff, and like kind of like being the guy at a Division I school. And I never thought I'd be able to get that opportunity. So definitely a cool experience. Definitely just like in game, it taught me a lot. Like scouting reports. Like I remember we played Omaha and St. Thomas our first summer league games, and I come off like ball screens. They're just doubling me. Like get ball in my hand. I get a ball late clock. 2 guys are just running at me. I'm like damn. Like this is like I gotta like that's stuff you got to grow on is from failure. So definitely some games where I didn't play my best and I had to learn from, and then it definitely made me a stronger like player and a person overall after.
How do you go from that? I mean, like obviously you experienced that in high school. You know, we saw the 50-point game against Century, that kind of thing. I mean, I feel like people don't really think about this aspect a lot of like high-level athletes. You're so high in high school, and then you kind of go back down to earth when you're going into college. So how much of a mental roller coaster is that to kind of navigate that whole situation?
Yeah, I remember playing at Eastern Washington, and I think I had like 17 and a half or something like that. And then we go in the second half, and they put a boxing one on me, like what Dean Winchesky did at Minot. And I'm like I'm running around, like, Coach, what do I do? Like, they want me to just move. He's like, just do what you're doing. I'm running around. I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna keep running. But it's definitely like kind of like a wake-up call. It'd be like, it kind of gives you a lot of confidence when people do that type of stuff, because it's like they haven't really that much about you, and you have other Division I guys on the team. Like, you're gonna pay at the end of the day. So like when they come, like throw guys out. Like I remember we played Bama, and I'm hearing Oates like telling me, he's like, pick him up full court. Like don't touch the ball. And I'm getting pushed up 94 or 95 or whatever. And I'm like, wow. Like give me the ball. Like I'm in this court on you now. Like that type of stuff. So I mean, it's definitely a cool experience. Again, like I never thought I'd be in that position. Getting guarded like I was in high school in Division I is just insane to me. So it's definitely a blessing. I know I say that a lot, but it truly is.
Yeah. Let's talk about a little bit more about the portal. I mean, you said like you couldn't have even imagined it. What was that experience like? What was your phone like on Monday? I mean, what was that 4 or 5 day stretch before you even took a visit? What was that like?
Yeah, a lot of phone calls, a lot of Zooms, a lot of text messages, obviously, but just like a lot of talking. And I'm not the most social guy. Like I have like a low battery. That's why I try to like say to myself. So all those calls and stuff, and just took a lot. My mom got like fans from random people that she didn't know. I know she got like a text from some number, and it was like just a St. John's fan that just sent her a gif of a St. John's like bird or whatever, and she said, "Who is this?" She said, "Just a fan." And we were just like, "Oh wow, like this is insane." So we definitely had to learn a lot of stuff about like giving our number out and everything like that. But it was like I would never think I'd be in that position in my life, and now that I am, it's just really cool.
Yeah. I know there's obviously, tons of Power 5 interest in that kind of thing. You set up a visit to go to South Carolina, and you only take one visit and commit. So was that, kind of a plan that you guys had thought about going in? Like, I just want to, pick a school and go visit? Or was it just like, hey, I got down there and I loved it so much that it just made too much sense? I mean, what was kind of the thought process?
Yeah, so we obviously, we set up visits for after the dead periods, like April 10th. We set up a few visits for a few like SEC school, and I think like Big 12 team. But that first one I went on, obviously I kept open-minded. I'm not just gonna like go on a visit and like not be interested in them. So I went on the visit. We had a lot of meetings during the visit, and I talked with Coach Paris a lot. And just like the trust he has for me, and I have a lot of trust for him. And then like the biggest thing for me, like I just wanted to play at the next level. And I feel like he can give me the opportunity, and a good opportunity if that. So I put a lot of trust in him, and then everything else, we went to the campus, coaching staff, the fans. We went to a baseball game versus Tennessee, and we walked down to our seats and everyone's just showing us love and like, come commit, Trey, like we need you, like stuff like that. And I just felt at home right there and then. And then Columbia's just a really nice city. It's a really nice place over there, and they treated my family very well. And all the coaches are like really nice and just know that I think they'll get me right at the end of the day. So I want to grow, and that's my biggest thing. Still have one more year of college, and then I'm trying to play professional somewhere. So I think this coaching staff will give me a really good chance to grow and better myself as a player and as a person.
Yeah. And that's what I was going to ask. Like, whenever you go into the portal, like, was there something that you had circled at the top? Like, my number one goal was playing time. Like, my number one goal was development for the NBA. Like, you know, was there one thing that was higher on your priority list than other things?
Yeah,
whenever
so
you're
like,
going through these conversations?
you got to be really blunt with coaches when, especially this. Like, you can't sugarcoat anything. So my biggest thing, whenever a coach hit me up or called, I was like, I just want to play. Like, if you see me playing, then like I'll entertain this idea. But my biggest thing is I want to play and prove that I can play at that next level, because I've been at the mid-major for 3 now. And I want to be at that higher level and actually like produce and play. If I wanted just to play basketball, I'd stay at UND and try to win this Summer League championship with Coach Taylor again. But I want that next level experience, because these are athletes, pros. Like, you're not going to see this type of athleticism and stuff at Summer League. And playing against it every night, it's gonna teach me how to grow like I did this last year. So that was my biggest thing. Yeah, my biggest thing was I just want to play. And then obviously like my relationship with the head coach and all the coaching staff. I'm a big family guy, and I want my coaching staff to be like part of my family, like it was at UND. And I think Coach Paris is a very good guy, and I think that's very possible.
Yeah. How much did you know about South Carolina before the last week?
I'm not gonna lie. I just know that the girls team was really good. And then we had them on a Zoom, and then they gave us a bunch of information. And then talking to a bunch of schools, I called Coach Paris like late at one night. I was running hills by the Capitol building right there, up by the museum, and I was like, Coach, like, you think I can come in like tomorrow? He's like, yeah, I'll get you in. I was like, all right, like, sounds good. And he's recruited me more than anyone else. So like the head coach called me the first day or second day, and just kept interest like that. And I think that's important if the head coach recruits you more than anyone else, because usually it's the assistant first and then the head coach. But he's been on me since day one, so I think that's a big part of it as well.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, you know, we talk about Wilhelm and the relationship you guys had, and you even mentioned Sather, like, you know, trusting him to come back for your junior year, knowing like, hey, I want to play, and he put you in the position to play. So just why has that been so big for you, those relationships with coaches along the way, and now that carrying over to, you know, this level with South Carolina, and like that kind of being a determining factor in this?
Yeah, that just helps. Like, if I have that type of connection, it just helps me grow, because obviously they know so much about basketball, and I can like understand if they yell at me. I know it's going to be for a good reason. I know it's not just going to be because like they're mad at me or stuff like that. So yeah, even before like the Saturday night when I thought about like I think I'm going to come here, I called Coach Sather for probably like 30 minutes to an hour, and I was like, Coach, like these are the schools I've been like talking to. I think this is the right fit. And he like 100% agreed. Like he didn't 100% agree, but he was just like, I'll back you up no matter what, Trey. Like, you know, I'm a fan. He's like, I love you. He's like, I just want to see you succeed. And I was like, yeah, like, love you too, Coach. Like, those type of relationships, like, knowing even if I don't go there, like, it's still family to me. And then they said, like, even their players in the transfer portal, like, they still come to the gym and stuff, and, like, they still chop it up with their players because, like, no matter what, they played for them, and they're like a family. And I was like, that's really cool. You don't see that a lot, because usually if you commit, like, they'll shut your card off right away. Like, you don't get to come back here. But it's different over there, and that's something I love. So having that connection with all my coaches I've ever had in my life, probably just I consider family, like high school, college, and then, yeah.
Yeah. Obviously, we talked about going from high school and being that guy and, you know, being guarded, double teamed and that kind of thing, then going to college and you go back down and build yourself back up to the point you did this season. And so now going to South Carolina, I mean, obviously you said, like, your number one thing is playing, so you're going to play, but, you know, you're adjusting to a different level all over again. So how do you kind of embrace that mindset of, like, hey, this is something new, like, this is going to be a new challenge to kind of work towards?
Yeah, so I know I'm going to fail. I know when it comes to practice, I'm going to get busted up a few times. But that's the stuff I'm excited for, because that's how I grow personally. At UND this last year, I didn't fail as much as I wanted to, because I've grown as a player, and sometimes you outgrow certain stuff. So I feel like when I get here this summer, I'm going to fail a lot, I'm going to learn from it, and I'm going to keep growing. That's how you grow the most, is through failure. So I can't wait to, like, I'm not, like, during games and stuff, like, hopefully that doesn't happen, but like this off season and practice, like, that's what I'm really learning for. Like, just work my butt off, learn. Coach Paris is a big film guy. He likes to break everything down, so definitely watch a lot of film about myself and just our team in general and certain stuff like that. So really excited to learn from this coaching staff and just really excited to grow.
Yeah. Just last couple of things. I mean, I know whenever you went into the transfer portal, it was like, hey, Eaglestaff's going into the portal, like, but he's exploring all of his options. Did you get a draft grade? Did you talk to anyone at the next level about like what the potential could be, or was it just straight like communication with colleges?
So my agent, after the STSU game, there was a few GMs at that summer league tournament, and they asked me to come into practice and stuff, like off season, like what's it called, a workout, like pre-draft workouts and stuff. And he also has a few guys that are like in the league right now, and a few guys that are going to go to the league, like Amari Williams from Kentucky, some guy from Florida. I forgot his name, but like I know he has a bunch of his pre-draft guys going out in New Jersey to do that type of stuff and then go work out. So that's why I was gonna go there, test it out, see what it's like, and then no matter what, I'm gonna come back to college, I think, and obviously get my degree from my mom and stuff. So yeah, but definitely a cool experience again. Like getting I remember at like UND, there's a few league teams there. When we played NDSU, because Moni obviously and myself, so I thought that was really cool, and just knowing that I'm on some type of radar over there is really cool.
Yeah. So are you still going to get a chance to do those workouts, or is that?
Yeah. So you can go like test the waters, like go do your stuff and remain your college eligibility. You can keep that. So that's what I'll do. Even if it sounds like good, I'll probably still come back to college and then try to grow still.
Yeah. Last two things, I promise. But you mentioned getting a degree for your mom, and I know how big your mom is in the grand scheme of how you've gotten to where you've gotten to and that kind of thing. Why is that so important? Like, hey, at the end of the day, like, basketball is important. Like, I want to play, I want to win, but like, I want to get a degree for my mom and my family.
Yeah. There's not a lot of people in my family that have degrees. So I think it's just really smart to have. My mom, when I was in like middle school here, she was working at Mary. She was working like 3 jobs, and while getting her degree at Mary, because they paid for it. So just knowing that like basketball can't last forever. You're gonna need a backup plan at some point. So I think just that aspect of it, making sure like I'm good at the end of the day, that I'll have something to go back on if anything ever happens. So that's my biggest thing, and my mom knows that too, and that's what she emphasizes to me. So yeah, that degree means a lot.
Yeah. What's your ultimate goal? Last year, I mean, there's so much on the table, right? In terms of your future, in terms of the current, wanting to go and win and play. But what's your ultimate goal going down to South Carolina for one last season?
Just to become a championship caliber player on a championship type of team. That's my biggest thing. This last year, I feel like there's some games that we could have won if I just did something better. Obviously, everyone says that, but I think like just coming out of South Carolina and just fixing all that type of stuff up, no little mistakes, just be like a player that can win championships, and that's my biggest thing is growing into, about to be 21 here in June, about to be a grown man, so I think that's my biggest thing is just getting that grown man status and just not making no little mistakes like that and just win games.